hold on. Photo op. I don't know what
So we were thinking in designing what Sunday should be, we thought, let's do a panel with Jared and Jensen. And then let's give the audience two guys they haven't seen much of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, we're backstage, we're working behind the scenes, you don't see what we do, but we're not really involved.
No. We also love to do panels around Jensen and Jared's photo ops. I think that's...
It always gives the experience kind of the working a restaurant feel when people just get up and leave.
I also like, they take down the banners as people leave. That's my favorite picture of the weekend right there. It's just...
Rob with all his friends. Well, I'm no better. I'm Richard and Jensen's not speaking to me. Jensen, over here. I know damn well where you are. And I'm looking this way on purpose. What do you think, Atlanta? How's it been? Listen,
Thank you guys, thank you so much. I'm just one person. I mean, you don't have to... Are you lost, sir?
This is how you know, like, where you are. Like, okay, how's it going, Atlanta? And they cheer a little bit, and there's a giant surge, and I'm like, this isn't for us. I don't know what's going on. How's it going, man?
I will say the funny thing is that the screaming started, and Rob went like, and Richard went like, it's the jawline. It's the jawline. I heard them talking shit. I figured I'd come in. Love y'all. Sorry. I just want to smash in.
Look, Jared's still up there. It's not just me.
Oh, Jared is up there.
Yeah. And he's going, I heard a voice over there, but I'm looking and I see nothing.
Well, we were just noting that here we are together, and I'm right there, and Jensen's clearly not speaking to me anymore. Like he's turned his back up.
Quiz question. Can you replicate that facial expression?
Give me a few minutes to lose 30 pounds.
And 30 years, apparently. Anyways.
Maybe nice even tan.
The camera is right there. Let's see it. Camera, please zoom in on Richard. He is going to replicate that to a T.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Gauntlet is known, Mr. Rob Benedict. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rob friggin' Benedict.
Camera's there.
To the camera.
Peace in the pot.
I like the fact you have to kind of shrink your shoulders and crouch down. Paper, mister?
All right, let's see.
Come on, Jared.
Yeah, he's doing it. Oh, he knows. We don't have to ask him twice.
So that's my right shoulder. What's this thing like?
Hold this is the real challenge. Now, Jared, do Jensen.
You're gonna need full body. Somebody give me a 3, 2, 1 action.
You got it. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, action. It's funny, I thought we were going to do something cartoonish and broad, but...
That's also his audition for Planet of the Apes.
Listen, Jensen, I begged him to keep it respectful.
I said, don't do it, buddy. But Rich was like, you gotta do this.
I was not...
They goaded me on. It was
Rich's idea.
It was Richard and Rob. They goaded me.
We goaded him not. Oh no, he's not speaking to Atlanta.
I don't speak Jensen's sign language, but I believe he just challenged every single human being in Atlanta to a fight. All right, I love y'all. I'm gonna go say hi to my sister.
There he goes, coming around the bottom. The old bottom pat.
The old bottom pat.
Always keep cutting and always keep mocking Jensen. I think that's the takeaway. Jensen looking over here like, and by the way, we've seen that Jensen look before. It's like, I want to see you. Are you? Early River! Now! Right now! Sammy! Sammy! We're going to talk this out over some boiled peanuts. By the way, for those of you who are following the Boiled Peanut Chronicles, are you following the Boiled Peanut Chronicles? Well, the good news, you've seen the Ruth installment. You've obviously seen that we kicked it off with the Rob Benedict installment. The Misha Collins installment was dropped today. Coming up is the quite frankly harsh Brianna installment, which I thought was a tad rough around the edges,
and yet on the money.
As well,
Brianna.
you know,
it's Brianna.
Tomato, tomato, peanut, peanut. We have Sebastian Roche trying the.
Was it sexy?
Well, I'm sure he makes it dirty. I blocked it out. But the big news is, I got Jared Jensen to try the boiled peanuts, and so we've got.
One of them is a thumbs down, and one's a thumbs up.
I'm not going to tell you who did what, and I'm probably not going to drop those videos today because I feel like the airwaves are already crowded with peanut videos, and I also feel like you'll be in line waiting to meet them and won't care about the video I put out, and I don't like that. This is like the ice bucket challenge. It's the boiled peanut challenge. Have the green. So anyway. Follow the Twitter, and I'll be dropping those videos either tonight or tomorrow for you people to see Jared and Jensen's reaction to your local cuisine. Or maybe I'll do it after the panel. I don't know, Robbie. I have no idea. If our plane's delayed, and it probably will be, I'll do it later tonight. It's been awesome. Somebody gave me a can of boiled peanuts. One of you lovely people gave me a giant can of boiled peanuts. First of all, you're booing the person who gave me a can of boiled peanuts? Where were your boiled peanuts you were supposed to give me? Judge not, lest ye give me a can of boiled peanuts, you know what I'm saying? So we had a fresh bag yesterday that some of us tried. And then we had the can today, and I gotta say, I'm eating the can, I'm digging the boiled peanuts in the can, but I'd eat boiled peanuts out of a shoe. I don't care, they're boiled peanuts.
Basically, that's what the can is. Basically, it is eating boiled peanuts out of a shoe.
All right, well, whatever. you know, Wolfgang Puck over here, Mr. Turn Your Nose Up at a Boiled Peanut. But I got Jared Jensen to try it out of the can, which even takes it to a different level. They were real team players. And like I said, one had a bad attitude and one got it, so I'll let you know via video who did that. Now, Robbie, let's get into some questions, shall we?
I would love if we could just veer away from people
right into that. Let's start right here at this really short line.
Hi guys. First off, thank you guys for making this an awesome weekend.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
My question is for Rob specifically. What, in your opinion, do you think is the hardest part of like producing an album? I guess per se.
Getting it finished. It's a big job. There's a lot that goes into it. The hardest part of the whole process is writing. When you're writing for a band, you need to all be on the same page and agree about stuff. So there's just a lot of like, just negotiating that goes on when you're writing a song. And some people might say, you know, a couple people, the guys in the band might go, ooh, we should do this in the third verse. And then the other two of us might go, no, I don't like that idea at all. And it's just like, it's just constantly just a wrestling match of like what works, and a creative wrestling match. So it really feels good when it's all, when the song is complete and everybody's going, yeah, I love that, that's the way to do it. And it's like anything, it's really like, it's like making a TV show, like making a movie. The creative process is maybe the hardest, just in terms of deciding what it should be. Even when you're shooting the show, there's a lot of decisions that go into what the shot list should be, and you have certain limitations and stuff like that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think in the music world that the creative wrangling ends up benefiting the final product? Like all the back and forth?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. It's a needed ingredient in the whole thing, and it's, you know, if you're not arguing about it, then it's usually not inspired. You know, I think we all get passionate about what we're creating, and that's where it comes from. I mean, you and I are not immune to that. I mean, we definitely had to make creative decisions, which isn't always easy when you're dealing with more than one person. The greatest thing about creating anything, whether it be a TV show or music, an album, is having it complete. And you're like, you know, we sweat a lot, and there's a lot that goes into it. So having it complete is just an amazing feeling. So yeah, it's great. It's a great process to be a part of with this group of guys that I love and I've been playing with for 20 years. And yeah, it's really fun to give birth to something like that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. When does the new album come out?
It will officially be released, I can't remember the exact date, but it's January.
Okay.
It's mid-January.
Ballpark, just mark your calendars for just...
That's a Norton question.
Ish. January-ish.
What is it?
The 13th.
It's the 13th of January.
Okay.
The 13th of January, and it's going to be the brand new album. But you can pre-order it on iTunes sometime later in November. And the other cool thing is that we're going to start previewing the album. So every Monday, starting tomorrow, we're going to stream a new song from the album.
Oh, great.
So tomorrow you'll be able to go to loudandswain.com and stream a new song from this one. Yeah.
Very cool. You.
If you guys could give each other a theme song, which would it be?
If we give a theme song.
To the other person.
Right. There's an old Los Lobos tune called Shakin' It, Shakin' It Shakes that I think would be appropriate for old jitters over there.
Or anything by Alabama Shakes.
Anybody by Alabama Shakes? Trying to think of what else.
Isn't the song by what's his name?
If you know this as well as your album release, we're in for a long answer here.
I'm a joker, I'm a toker, I'm a midnight smoker.
The Joker.
That's my song for Rich.
The Joker, that's a good song.
The Joker.
I'm trying to think of what else I would use for rhyming. Gosh, I feel like we've been asked this before, and people yelled out good answers. I can't remember what they are.
We've done it with our characters, but as a person, I don't know. I mean, I think anything, the Shakes is pretty good. Is there anything called like Oh, what about Crazy by, whatchamacallit? Maybe I'm crazy.
Patsy Cline?
Gnarls Barkley.
Gnarls Barkley? Yeah, Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, that's what I was thinking.
Right. So Crazy and the Joker.
Perfect.
Boom.
There it is. You got it. Thank you.
Okay.
And my question is for Rich. Or no, sorry, Rob.
Happens all the time.
That guy or me?
You.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm a gay girl. I'm really nervous right now.
That's all right.
You did that movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds and John Francis Daly, who are two of my favorite people other than Jared and Judson. What was it like to work with them?
It's okay. I also wasn't shocked by that statement.
They were awesome. It was great. They both. John was one of the first people I met when I did the movie. We got to town. It was just really me and him, and so from the very beginning, him and I got along super well. Really sweet guy. And Ryan was great. Ryan he came into the project sort of. He just finished a different project. I remember he was sort of stressed out about that project he just finished, and he wasn't expecting this to be as fun as it wound up being. So he was one of those guys that sort of first kind of had his guard up, and then he's like, "Whoa, you guys are really fun. This is super fun." So we'd all hang out. And my favorite Ryan Reynolds story is that one night I went out to dinner with him and Anna Faris, and he was like, we were talking about who your set crush is. On sets, we always go, "Who's your set crush?" And you'll name someone in the set you kind of have a crush on. It's all innocent, you know. And he said his set crush was me. So we're totally going out.
It's funny, you said you told that story and immediately did your headshot.
Yeah, so it was great. It's great. It's a super fun movie to work on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You. Hi.
So you guys have my dream job, basically. I've been working on a web series that I want to produce, direct, write, star in, edit, and code. But it's the first thing in my life that I can work on forever and ever, and I never get tired of it. But doing all the different parts and keeping them separate is really hard. So I was going to ask you, Kings of Con, because you do all the different parts, how do you keep that separated and not spread yourself too thin?
It's very possible we didn't spread ourselves too thin. I mean, only because it was a ton of work. But we love it, which it sounds like you love it too. So that part, every part of the job didn't feel like a job. I mean, anything we had to do, even if it was difficult, was still phenomenal. Great experience. And also we didn't do it by ourselves. Even though Rob and I have many titles in this process, we had a production team. We had a producer, Tina Dinsmore, Nate Young, who came on board and helped us run the business. So if Rob and I were taking too long with something, or if we were dwelling too long on a moment, or if we had started to overlook something, they were there with a very airtight schedule, and continue to be there with a very airtight schedule, keeping the business on track. So, I think the key is, don't fool yourself into thinking it's a solo project, because it's not. Even though our names may be in more slots in the credits, it's really a team sport. Making a play is a team sport, making a TV show is a team sport, making a movie is a team sport, making this series was absolutely a team sport. We gathered a phenomenal team around us, and that's why we were able to pull it off and do what we were able to do. And do as many jobs as we were able to do, because we were flanked by really talented, driven, professional people who were as passionate about the project as we were.
When you're wearing more than one hat at the same time, that's when you really need the help of people around you. And Rich and I would do a lot of trading off. Rich was the director, but if he's in a scene that he had to really focus on, he'd say, "Hey man, look at the monitor and be my director here." So I'd step up and do that. I mean, there's a lot of handing off that goes on, and like you said, it really is a team sport. So, yeah.
So to follow your passion, stay driven, do what you're doing, but get people with you who do it, who want to do it with you, and who can help you do it at its highest level. Okay?
That's really good advice.
Good. Glad you're able to help. You. Hi, South Carolina.
I was just wondering, you guys have played such complex characters on Supernatural, and I was just wondering if there were any storylines that you thought of as an actor that would be interesting to go down, or any potential storylines that maybe haven't happened yet, but something that you would be interested in playing.
In regards to Supernatural?
In regards to your characters.
I'll be honest, I don't think, I've never really spent time thinking about alternate storylines for my character or other characters. I'm always impressed by what the writers come up with. They seem to be able to, every season, come up with a new angle and a new pathway for these characters to take. I'm always fascinated by it. Have you ever had a thought?
I think it'd be interesting if you and I had something to do together.
That would be
in all honesty, you know, that there is a link between God and Gabriel. That would be fun to explore. I also think it would be fun to explore the idea of like Chuck with who Chuck is like before he became the vessel for God. You know what I mean? I think it's really interesting when they do that, like with Misha being Jimmy.
Okay, that's a good point. So I do have an idea that I thought about a while ago, which is I would love to know if Gabriel was able to fool all the pagan gods into believing that he was the trickster because he was wearing the trickster's vessel. That means that Gabriel must have kicked the trickster out of that vessel in order to borrow it to fool the gods. So somewhere is a trickster locked away. I'd like to know what the trickster's up to, and I'd like to see him unlocked and unleashed to see what he would come up with next. That's what I'd like to know. Good question.
Hi, my name is Jane. My question is for both of you. Obviously, we were just talking about how great of a dynamic that you and Rob have. And so my question is, like, what is your favorite thing that the other brings to the dynamic and vice versa?
Oh, I tell you, I mean, I think Rob is always thought, even before I worked with him, an incredibly gifted performer. Really funny. I mean, for all of our banter that you see up here, there's actually sort of a method to the madness and sort of a process to everything we do. Even if it's loose, it's like, you know, improv is almost one of the hardest things to do. It's like being a jazz musician. You have to know the neck of the guitar so well that you can float freely around it without ever making a mistake. And I feel that Rob possesses that gift as a comedic performer. And so it's always a delight to be either on this stage or on the set or in the writer's room with him, free-flowing those kind of ideas. It's fantastic. So I admire the shit out of what Rob does as a performer. And I tell you, the first thing we shot for Kings of Con was, day one was a scene that I won't get into the details of it, but it was a scene I wasn't really in. It was Rob and another actor, let's just say it's in a jail cell. And there's a lot of improv that goes on between him and this guy, and then there was later another scene in a courtroom that took place, and Rob was just on fire, and I got to enjoy it from the monitor. That was always really fun. It's always great to act with Rob. And doing Kings of Con was the opportunity we gave ourselves to do that. But to sit at the monitor as an outside observer and just place the cameras and let him do his thing was really awesome. It was awesome to watch. So it was a pleasure, not to act with him, but it was a pleasure to be at the monitors watching him do his thing.
Thanks, Richard.
You're welcome, buddy.
I remember that day you called me that night. You're like, hey man, if I didn't say it today, you did a great job. And it was a huge compliment because I know Rich means it when he says that kind of thing. I agree with Rich. It's funny. My brother, who's a basketball player, was like, you know, I've seen you and Mitch work, and it seems like it's kind of like the equivalent of like playing with another player and passing a certain direction, knowing he's going to cut to the basket, right? Like anticipating because you know his moves so well, and that's exactly what it's like. That's why him and I get along so well. And why we've been creative together is we really work together well, and it's always fun playing with him. He's a like-minded player, and it's super fun. What I really respect what Rich does that I don't have a gift of is directing, and he really does have such an eye for directing, and I watch what he does, and I'm taking notes in case I ever might want to like try on that hat. I'd probably only try it on with the Kings of Con, but like he's really good. That just takes a certain ability that I don't have in terms of knowing what you need in a certain scene from a certain actor, you know, knowing what the editing process is going to be. I've learned a lot through this whole process just watching Rich work as a director. So yeah, I feel very lucky to know him.
Thank you. Hi.
So, because we thankfully got both of you back in some capacity for season 11 of Supernatural, that ended up in DVD commentary that was really cool because you directed it and you were back for several episodes. And it had Rich talking about what inspired him as a director, and you talking with Robbie Thompson and Curtis Armstrong. And I was watching with my friends and we were going to get more of this. So I asked Robbie Thompson, what is it going to take to get more of that conversation? And he said, the thing I want your input on, which is, we can only be in the same room for 40 minutes at a time every 40 years when the sun gods will switch chairs.
Yeah, I wish that were a joke, but unfortunately it's true.
We were at the crossroads.
Yeah.
And we made a deal with the devil.
And you know, had we not made that deal, Robbie would never have written for the show, and we never would have had Baby or Charlie or me or Kane or Godback.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, so we signed away our ability to hang out with Robbie Thompson, except for those 40 minutes every decades.
So I'm really looking forward to when I'm 80.
Yeah.
And I get to see him again.
We're already trying to pick a restaurant. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I miss him a lot.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was good stuff.
I got to be God and stuff.
He's done great work.
I really love him. So.
How do we get more of that conversation, like about directing and influences and stuff like that?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, you know, in terms of being in the same place with Robbie, he has a very different career and very different path.
Not necessarily, just in general, what you guys.
We could do. We're talking about releasing Kings of Con on DVD at some point.
Hopefully, we'll be able to do that.
And then
hopefully, we'll do some commentary.
Do some commentary.
And otherwise, come to panels and ask questions. I don't know. I mean, that's it. But I feel like we can, Robbie. Is what I was going to say. I think we can.
Well, there's a good possibility.
Right.
That so our show will be on Comic-Con HQ.
That's comic-conhq.com.
And that's going to be on November the 15th.
That's the 15th of November of this year, Robert.
That's right. And it's Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, Robert.
And so episodes 1 and 2 will air on that date, meaning they will be available to watch and then live forever on that platform. And then every subsequent Tuesday, outside of holidays, they will premiere another episode until we reach 10 episodes, which is our season 1.
End of season.
Which will be in the middle of January. So every Tuesday we're going to have a live after show where we air it, we tweet it, we live tweet it, and then afterwards we have a live from a set studio in Hollywood. We're going to be talking about the show, telling stories, having guest stars.
Answering similar questions like that. We worked with Comic-Con HQ and this company, Pilgrim and Lionsgate, to create this after show. Because without it being on TV with an official launch time, we're like, how can we live tweet it? How can we communicate about the show as it's going on? That's important to us because we built the show on the backs of the generosity of this community. We want to be able to talk to this community about the show. So, with them by our side, we've created this idea that we're still going to be able to live tweet digital programming. It's not a thing that's widely done, but we're going to figure it out, damn it. So you're going to follow Kings of Con on Twitter. Oh yes, you are. And you're going to follow Rob, and you're going to follow me, and we're going to let you know what time the episode's going to start. And you're going to go to your internet device, and you're going to start the show with us. We're going to come on to the show, say, all right, we're starting it, and we're all going to start together. We're going to live tweet, and then end that with a live show, where we take your questions and talk to crew members and cast members from the show while having a good time on a set.
I'll have some members of Loud and Swain on there.
Loud and Swain will be there. So it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be a unique format. I don't believe it's ever been done before. We are pioneering this. We're pioneering this because you people are awesome, and we want to be with you when you watch our show. So that's what we're going to do. It's called Kings of Conversation. So follow Kings of Con, at Kings of Con, follow Rob Benedict, follow Dick Speight Jr., and work with us to make that after show as successful as the main show so we can continue this dialogue. Thank you for your question. You. Hey man.
My name's Alex, and I was wondering, what's your favorite thing about the supernatural dimensions and why?
Favorite thing about the supernatural dimensions, Robbie? Why? I'll tell you. Camaraderie. Like many of you who have started watching the show, gone online, joined chat rooms and developed friendships with people and have met those friends at conventions and have developed social circles around the show, so have we. I never worked with Rob Benedict on the show. I never worked with Matt Cohen on the show. I never worked with Mark Shepard. I never worked with Ruth, Brianna, you name it. But I consider them all among my great friends because the show brought us together to do these conventions. So because of conventions, I have a great social circle of friends. So like you, I have benefited from this community tremendously. And to be able to gather with those people in various cities around the country and come out with them and have fun and hopefully spread that fun all over you people is a great gift and one that I really cherish. Robbie?
I mean, I agree with that 110%. I would also say, for me, the Saturday night special, the Saturday night concert is a really terrific experience, not because I get to play music, but because of the connection I feel that I make with you guys is unlike anything else I've ever experienced, and I don't think it's matched by anything else that's even out there in the world. I truly get so much out of that connection that I have by the end of the concert. Every city we're in, every Saturday night that we get to play that show, I feel connected and I feel connected, held up, supported. I feel like I've made some new friends, and it's a great feeling.
Thank you for your question. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Hey.
I'm Jay from North Carolina.
Hey, Jay.
My question is, if your character had a spin-off show, and it could be about like anything, what would it be about, and like what would you do with it?
Robbie?
Right, so God and Gabriel have an apartment in New York City.
In the city.
Down by the village.
Nice little place on the village.
East Village.
East part. East Village.
They've come down to Earth to see what's going on, just to have some action, maybe date a little bit.
It's a spin on The Odd Couple. It's called The God Couple. And they're forced to be roommates because even God and Gabriel, with all their powers, can't find a decent apartment in New York. Right?
So one's
share a joint.
One's really like sort of needs things to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Like how he effing created them.
Yeah.
And the other one just has to sort of
the other
off and do his own thing.
Well, he's still annoyed about not being brought back to fight the darkness, so he's got an attitude, and he's, you know, he'll leave his shirt where he damn well pleases.
So there's a real love-hate.
Yeah. There is.
An intense love-hate.
Meanwhile, they go out into the city and find unsuspecting jerks and put them into random television shows where they get made fun of. So that's where the show will be. Thank you. Good question. No.
Now I feel like my question is a little bit too similar to what you guys were just saying. So there could be a situation either because of Trickster being Trickster or putting, Gabriel back together, that Gabriel and God could be in an episode together, supernatural, not the Odd Couple. And what do you guys think that dynamic would be like, especially since now you guys have created this dynamic as part of the conventions?
I think you might have thought of this differently, but I think the dynamic between Gabriel and God, were it to be on the show, in a serious answer to the question, is not the dynamic that Rob and Rich have. It's a very different dynamic. God has revealed himself in the end of last season. We sort of know more about his character, and we certainly know a little bit about Gabriel's character from his existence, and the father-son issue that would obviously exist between the two of them. I think it wouldn't be the laugh riot that we have on stage. That's Rob and Rich, the actors. I think God and Gabriel, the characters, would not inhabit the Robiners' personalities. It would be more true to the story of Supernatural, and I think there's a lot of layers to what that could be. Could they be their, you know, humorous personalities interacting with each other? Sure, but at the end of the day, they have a long, long, long history and a lot of issues that need to be worked out. We have a short history, but also a lot of issues that need to be worked out, so that's the difference.
And that's also what's so like about it. We need to have a sit down, you and me. Yeah, I tell you, you know, the fact is, like, Chuck is funny and fun, even though he doesn't necessarily know it. But God really doesn't have as much of a sense of humor. And I think that it really, I totally agree with you. I think it would look more like the sit down I had with Lucifer when I came back. It would look a little bit more like that. There are a lot of people that aren't happy with me, and he's definitely.
It would be, aside from the selfish desire to work with Rob on that show, from a character standpoint, as a fan of the show, that would be an interesting storyline to see resolved. So
let's make that happen.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
I was just wondering if you guys knew when you started Supernatural what your characters would become. Like, did you know that you were going to be God or Gabriel?
No, I did not.
No, I don't think the writers knew. I mean, maybe they knew with Robbie's character, because yours was designed to be a prophet, and maybe Eric knew that he was going to do Swan Song and go that way. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't tell me.
But they didn't. I don't think they knew the trickster was going to become Gabriel. I don't know that to be. I know I didn't know, but I just went to do one episode, so I didn't know I'd do even more than one episode.
Same.
Let alone did I know they would develop it into an archangel character that would be more tied to the whole mythology of the show. So it was a pleasant surprise for all of us.
Yeah, same here, exactly. It's supposed to be a one-off, one-episode thing. I never imagined that 10 years later I'd be here talking about it.
I know. Thank you. Well, when these guys come out, it means one thing and one thing only. It means typically that a panel's over. In this case, it doesn't just mean that a panel's over. Robbie and I are going to do photographs with many of you in a few minutes, and after that, we're on an airplane and we're gone. Which means we're saying goodbye to Atlanta. It's been an awesome, awesome, awesome pleasure to visit your city.
Thank you so much, everybody. Love you.
We've been wanting to come here for years. It's been thrilled to be here. And in the most appropriate traditions, we're singing a song written by one of your local boys, Barry Buckmill Speight, the fellows of REM. This is what we sing when we leave a city. Thank you, Atlanta, Georgia. Let's do it, boys.
It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home. It's the end of